So we'll have a change at about past. And I will take a well-earned break. So I seem to have done a lot of commentary today.
Yeah.
I'm knackered.
I'm
not used to it.
Right, we're back on YouTube.
Hey!
We can hear Hattie.
Wonderful.
Both screens seem to be working. Joy.
You can commentate again if you want, Bear.
Let me just have a waz.
Oh, right, of course. Now, Jarsiria was about to bowl. In fact, he did bowl, but just the funny thing is, he didn't let go of the ball. And so we're going to go through it all again. In he comes, bowling to Brook, and Brook is forward, meets that on the front foot, inside half of the bat, but enough wood on it to do the job. Jarsiria has been operating over the wicket now for a long time, but this one's too far outside the leg stump, and Brook controls that one, gets it fine, and also keeps it all the way along the ground. It's just about kept in, so he won't get a 4, but he will get back for 3. And England's 100 comes up, 101 for 3. They're almost halfway there. They need 205. Yeah, he really did roll his hands over that one to keep it down and to get it finer than Sri Lanka would have wanted, where there is nobody fielding. He moves to 21. And it brings Root down to face. Oh, no, that's a horrible full toss, and it's swept by Root. However, straight to the man at deep square leg. So it's just 1. The Bear has wazzed, and he is back.
I am ready, thankfully. I bet something will go wrong now, but hey ho. Jarsiria.
Are we going to get any of the chat coming through, or is that just that we've cleared all the chat and there's nothing there now?
No, it's not working in this browser, but it is working in the other one that I have underneath, so I'll get that up in a second.
Jarsiria bowls again, and onto the back foot goes Brook. Tries to force, but forces only as far as extra cover. He fields happily. And as we wait for YouTube to burst back into life. He's got rid of the leg slip now, and he gives himself room outside the off stump and then plays a really good shot. Fantastic placement. It means that that man out at deep backward point has to run round to his right. They'll get back for a very comfortable 2. And England are past the halfway mark, 104 for 3.
Nice. They need 101 runs. Once they get into double figures, I think they'll feel a bit happier. Going to get to 150. 50 to run. If these two are still there, I think they'll try and get it up, done and dusted. And Jarsiria might get tired. He's well 12 and a half overs already. Mind you, he is a spinner. We do love bowling. That's just defended back to the bowler. There's no run. 29 overs done. 205. I think, of course, the ball is going to get older and do less.
I suppose I'll go looking for some. Who's on socials? Is it me or is it Hattie?
I think it's you.
Okay. It's you.
See if I can find anything of interest.
People are coming back in. Bear has 2 sleeves today. Moving up in the world, I see. Says Kieran Rose, like, yeah, yesterday one of my sleeves was missing on my t-shirt and I didn't even know. Which is a bit embarrassing, but there we go. England need 101 runs to win. Darren Holt's 34. These two are on 23 and 18 respectively. Root facing up. Vishwa Fernando is gonna bowl.
He hasn't had a bowl for a while, has he?
No, he's only bowled 2 overs.
Yeah, indeed. Do you want to jingle him?
Yeah, I can do.
No problem.
I suppose that's what my job is as well.
Every delivery delivered by a manic fiend. That is what I want to see. Vishwa Fernando.
He's coming around the wicket, lefty to Root. Clearly, I don't think the ball's doing much if he's coming around the wicket. And it's just defended by Root, and there is no run.
GC Radio Naked Pornbot says, I was a stand-in for Rosemary's Baby. I know what that's to do with. That is Leah on that YouTube unpronounceable name from my point of view, especially when I have to lean forward and my glasses aren't particularly good. Maybe if I had better eyesight, I
Apologies for the blackout on YouTube for a minute there. We had technical problems, as that's worked off the hip of Root out to deep square leg. Leash. And he'll get a single.
She's advising me to listen to her interview with Andy Ryan. Andy Ryan, of course, Reverse Sweat Radio, who used to be a Gorilla contributor. We haven't seen him for a long time, which is sad. I got the impression, Lee, you were saying that had he got in contact with him, maybe he was ripe for a comeback.
I did bang it. I bumped into him somewhere and said that and suggested it, and then I emailed him and heard nothing back. So maybe he was just lying. 100 runs to win, defended by Brook from the crease around the wicket. There's only a solitary slip now. So I guess Sri Lanka trying to bore us to death.
Oh, yeah. But as you say, they've got to try different things. They've got to. I mean, they're not going to put pressure on England from the point of view of time. They're only going to put pressure on England if England decide that they want to smash it all over the place
and lose wickets.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of gaps in the field. That's full, and it's played out through cover. Misses cover. Don't know if there's anyone deep. Doesn't look like there is because it's being chased down by cover. And they'll get back 4-2. I mean, this is it. England have got all the time in the world, and they've realised that all of a sudden after trying to be a bit frenetic. I'm sure they'll get frenetic later when they're much closer.
Well, I suspect the last thing England want to do, especially if they've got wickets in it, it might be different if they haven't got so many wickets in hand, but I'm guessing if they've got wickets in hand, they really don't want to come back tomorrow, do they?
No.
For 20 minutes or
well, exactly. And if these two get up to 150, 160 without losing another wicket, then suddenly it looks really easy, doesn't it? And Sri Lanka don't really have many places to go. And that's played up to mid-off, and there's no run. Plus, the ball is now nearly 30 overs old. It's losing whatever movement there was, and there hasn't really been a lot off the deck. It's all been in the air, and it's not really doing much of that either. So it does get easier to bat, or at least not to get out.
I should say, Leah, I did start to listen to your podcast, and then something distracted me, and for some reason I forgot to go back to it. But yeah, I'll have a listen.
Down the track comes Brook. That's a lovely shot. Comes down the track, inside out through extra cover. And that will be 4 runs.
2 + 2 is a member.
I was a little bit worried that he'd hit that straight to mid-off there in the air, but
It looked a little bit like that for a minute, didn't it?
he's got the angle right.
Yeah, and Fernando, well, you know.
3 overs for 23. Nelson, alert. 111 for 3. The GC Radio Naked Fun Porn Bot says, any Wazzable Woods in Sydenham? Let's have a look. If Taylor Swift wore Bear's t-shirt from yesterday, half the world would be doing it.
Yeah, true.
What was your t-shirt yesterday?
I had no, I must have caught my arm, or the arm got tore off in the
Your arm got torn off?
The t-shirt arm, and I hadn't realised. I came in and I realised.
Was it hanging off?
Yeah, I kind of looked like a sort of Aussie rules football player. It was a bit weird on one arm. That's just defended by Root, and there is no run.
I don't think Andy was lying. He's just got a very young child. So I told him that you do home office nowadays. Absolutely. You can come on Zoom.
Yes. He's
With
joined the baby brigade. Yes. That's flicked into the leg side, and there's no run. Was your daughter doing exams this year, Hattie?
Retakes and level 2 art, yeah.
Oh, okay. How did it go?
She got her art all right, so that's good.
That's good. That's cool. That's cool. I've had 2 sets of exams this summer. I've had A-levels and GCSEs. It's all been a bit...
Oh, and?
All good. All good. Everyone got where they wanted to go, so that worked
really
out fine.
Pleased.
Yeah, it's nice. It's good.
Send my congrats, please.
I will do. That's swept by Brook. It doesn't really get anything on it. It goes into the pads of the keeper. It's outside leg stump. No appeals. No run.
Steve Aldersley says, it's rare to go this long without rain in Manchester, and Kate Eleanor says, yes, I'm in Brighton. Plenty of rain, although sunny now.
Yeah, the sun has decided to come out. Blue skies and fluffy clouds in Sydenham, as that's clipped to mid-wicket and there's no run.
Leah has a message to me. I won't bother reading that. I'll just tuck it away in the back of my mind. What time does play end today? Cricket versus 34 overs left.
Yeah, it can go till 7. That's defended up towards mid-off, and there is no run. Yeah, England definitely won't want to come back tomorrow. How many overs? They say 37. Well, presumably, if England get close at 7 o'clock, they can claim an extra half hour as well anyway.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Which means we could go at 7:30. Swept hard and well. There is a man at backward square leg. 3/4 of the way back, fields it. It's a single. England now require 92.
Brook, I mean, Root's had hardly any of the strike
Yeah.
since tee. It's all been Brook, really, and he's gone well ahead of Root in terms of number of runs scored. Yeah, you kind of feel it would be nice if England would finish it off reasonably quickly now, because I'm getting a bit knackered. And
Yeah, you don't want to come back tomorrow with like 30 to win, do you?
I'm not coming back tomorrow, that's for sure. I even thought about not coming in today, but that would have left you a bit short. I did think it would only go to lunch today, I have to say.
Yeah, I was hoping for a couple of quick wickets early, a bit of a collapse, and then England chasing down 60 or something.
Yeah, well, I wasn't hoping that. I was hoping for a full day's play and a decent showing from Sri Lanka, because I want there to be more Test cricket. I don't want every game over in 3 days.
No.
It's not good for us, is it?
Well, that's true.
No.
Chopped into the offside by Brook. Fielded, well, I think Angelo managed to use at Gully. There is no run.
So England now down to 92 required. What's this partnership worth now? It must be 40 odd, something like that.
Yeah, they came together pretty quickly, didn't they? Root hadn't scored many when Brook came to the crease.
I think when Root hadn't scored many. He scored about 8 or 9, I think, when Brook arrived.
Yeah, Vishwa bowls up, defended by Brook, and there ain't no run.
Hang on. I'm kind of shocked, because I see Kate Eleanor saying, "Did everyone enjoy the Victoria Sponge from yesterday?" You mean I wasn't in and you had Victoria Sponge?
No, we didn't have Victoria Sponge. We had a conversation about Victoria Sponge.
Oh, so actually it was just a conversation. I thought it sounded like Kate had sent it in.
You know what? My brain is so
Exactly.
addled, and after 4 days of doing this, as that's played out behind square and there's no run.
No, there is a run.
Sorry, there's a run.
That's
yeah.
how
That's
puzzled your brain is.
Yeah.
Walk with cake.
There was
Always
some
the case.
innuendo.
I could do with some Victoria Sponge right now, but I don't suppose I'm going to get it now. It's a bit late. It's a bit late to ask anyone to send us a Victoria Sponge. A bit late in the day.
Did you see the crowd catch yesterday?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. Did he not have a beer in one hand?
He had a beer. Clearly had 4 beers, because he had 4 beer cups
Oh my word!
in one hand, and he just nonchalantly put up his hand and plucked it out of the air. Genius, man.
Absolutely.
Worked off his legs by Roots. They take 1. Are they going to come back for 2? They are. That's good running. Yeah,
Oh.
did you see it, Hattie?
Yes, we were watching on telly when it happened and saw Collingwood's reaction. We were just like, that's just brilliant.
Yeah, I did see Collingwood talk about, sort of gesturing about that.
And they get the salute as well.
I mean, not only taking the catch, but I mean, earning the gratitude of his friends for not wasting a whole round.
No.
Yes,
He'd had 4
exactly.
beers.
He said
His was stacked, like the beers that he finished.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so 4 beers in and a one-handed catch plus plucked out of the air. It's not bad going. Under edge by Root, defending outside his off stump, just goes into the ground to the keeper, and there's no run.
I mean, with the cost of beer, if it had been 4 in his other hand, I mean, the cost of beer at cricket these days, that would have been an expensive.
Like 15 quid, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh God,
50.
More than that.
It's-
I think it'd been it's at least
It's about 7 or 8 quid a pint.
or 8 quid at Lord's. Yeah, absolutely.
At Manchester, probably about 15 quid. In London,
Oh,
it'd be
right,
about
okay.
20.
Good. It's cheaper.
Defended by Root into the ground, goes out on the offside. There's no run.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right, actually, 20 quid. And then London, probably about 30.
Yep. 89 required. Let's have a look. Have we got any more on the tweets? Oh, no, it seems to be Steve Aldersley, who is apparently in Canada. chatting to Kate Eleanor, not actually aimed at us specifically. I'll have another look on Twitter.
Oh look, Kate Eleanor's given us a £5 super.
Yay!
She says,
Play that funky music.
please buy us Victoria sponge. We will do. Thank you very much.
Yeah, except don't have it tomorrow. Can we have it on Wednesday? No, Thursday is the
There
next,
won't be any.
next
There
test.
won't be any cricket tomorrow. I don't think.
Oh no,
Yeah,
that's true.
send some my way. Send some chocolate brownies my way.
Well, you see, to get these bonus buys, you have to come into the studio.
Yeah, it's tough.
No, pay my expenses. I'll think about it.
Oh yeah, well, you know. If only we could.
I know. Shocking.
Old fart
I
plays
was just
like.
thinking the not. Go on.
I was going to say actually the change of angle from Jai
Oh,
Surya.
he's finally come back round a wicket. And that's defended by Brook into the leg side. There is no run.
And the tweet that I was going to read was from Old Fart at Play, who's not impressed by the man who took the catch. He says, man caught ball, holding a beer. Superman caught girl, then helicopter. Yeah. I wouldn't want to try and grab a helicopter in my hand.
Yeah. It's tossed up a little bit. Nicely driven by Brook, but straight at that shortish extra cover. No run.
No, I mean, talking about sweet stuff, like that shows how long it's been since I've been on air with you guys. I haven't seen your beard that short for like years.
Mine?
Yes, well, yeah.
Because I've
well-
got one at the moment.
Yeah, that's worked into the leg side. That's true, actually. Yeah. And there is no run.
It suits you.
Yeah, well, everyone moans at me when I let my... I ain't even had a haircut, you might notice as well. That was a while ago, but
I can't see that.
it's... yeah, I can't be asked to shave a lot of the time. I'm lazy. That's defended off the back foot by Brook, out to cover, and there's no run. England needing
Plus, it's
89
been
runs to
too
win.
hot to have it the full length bushy, isn't it?
Well, no.
Yes. The talking beards.
Well, everyone has a beard. That's worked into the leg side by Brook. It looks like he wants to break free, but he knows he shouldn't.
I want to break free. I want to break free very shortly. We're going to go invite Toby back in soon because I'm going to have a little break for half an hour.
Yours. Me too.
Well, my break comes after the next one.
We're all looking forward to our
We're all
breaks.
looking forward to a break. It's been a long day, actually, hasn't it?
Yes.
We're all going to break free.
Played out to cover. There is no run.
What 2 balls to go in this over? So let us summon Toby to get ready. Hopefully he's listening in the other room, and he'll be here, ready to take over. What is the next threesome, Bear?
Toby, Messers, and me.
Okay, and then I'm back on, aren't I? By the looks of things.
Yeah. Then you're back on
Are they
with
all
Toby
short?
and Hattie. Sorry,
Are they all short?
a ball short. No,
Yes.
there's one ball to come in this over. I don't know why I haven't bowled it yet.
I know.
Seemingly not. Well, there you go. Maybe someone miscounted. Maybe the umpire miscounted. Right, I'm off. I'll be back in half an hour, and Toby will
All right.
come in and take over on
I'll
board.
see you in half an hour, Hattie. Well, I won't because you'll be on with Hendo
Yeah.
and Toby. But good to see you again.
Yeah, likewise. Toodles.
See ya. Rathnaka is in. First ball, left alone, through to the keeper. There's no run. Welcome back, Messi. That was all a bit of an arse earlier.
Yeah.
Disappearing
It's
screens,
okay.
disappearing sound.
Oh, it's too much technology, isn't there? It's keep it all going properly.
I might need to do some updates on this computer. I haven't updated it for donkeys. Might help stability with things.
That's a long process.
Yeah,
sometimes.
exactly. It's one of those things where I have to come in for a day and just watch screens going, yes, that'll be 27 minutes. Over to you, Toby.
In comes Athanaka. Lovely shot by Root. Going to get just one for it though. Doesn't quite get a hold of it. Oh, they don't
Doesn't
even
even
get one.
get one. Straight to the fielder.
Looked like they were going to set off for a quick single, but didn't get a hold of it at all. And turns it down in the end.
I think there is a time. There's going to be a time when they're going to break loose.
I think Harry Brook will probably lead that charge.
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll try and get within 30 or 40 before, and they'll feel that even if someone comes in, they're a bit demoralised now.
Athanaka again. Just defended into the leg side by Root. Yeah, I can see possibly if Brook might just try and take Jai Sarir on down the ground a bit. He's obviously very strong that way.
Yeah, I think so.
Possibly just going to wait for a couple loose deliveries, you might expect. Oh, and a no
Oh,
ball.
no ball. Everyone counts.
This is where you need 3 hits, and Joe Root can
Wow,
go berserk.
yeah. I think Rooty's asking for a new bat as well. I think he's got the toe end of it there and it's cracked.
Would either of you guys be for a free hit in Test cricket?
Yeah, I think it'll be
No.
quite fun. Oh,
No,
come on.
I'm not.
How come,
No,
Messrs?
I'm a stick in the mud. Well, you get the credit for the no ball. I don't see why it should impact beyond that. I get that in white ball cricket it's sort of fun to have. But at the end of the day, what it's about is penalising someone for bowling incorrectly, and they've already had that penalty. I don't see why they should then have an additional penalty for it.
Damn, and Messi, that's annoyingly logical.
Actually, England did pretty well with the no balls. I think they only bowled, 2, 1 in each innings, which is an improvement on the past. Sri Lanka have bowled 6 altogether.
Dot ball there. Joe Root just defends it. Nice and solid, nice and simple. I think England have generally been pretty good with extras this summer, from memory. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
James Smith didn't concede any buys in the first series. Maybe one 4
yeah,
buys.
there was 1 4 buys. There
Yeah.
wasn't a lot. He was pretty blameless in that series against the West Indies.
Yeah, there were 4 buys. There were no leg buys in the first Sri Lankan innings, which is unusual.
That is unusual.
There's been 9 in this innings.
I guess with the first Sri Lankan innings, we took so many wickets early on that once De Silva and Rathanayake got going, that they were kind of going a bit hell for leather at times.
Yeah,
and,
they were a little bit, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were trying to be aggressive.
and if they didn't just miss it, then there's no need for leg buys, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 balls to come in the over here. Root just onto the back foot, defends it out to cover point. 88 runs to win right now for England, 117 for 3. Root and Brook at the crease, 22 and 31 not out respectively.
Do they target somebody?
I think they have to if they want to go.
If they want to win tonight, I think they're going to have to. I
If
suppose
it
it's
was about an hour.
20 overs,
Yeah.
88 runs. It's just doddle, isn't it? Score 250 in 20 overs, you know.
Yeah, I think it depends, doesn't it, whether they try and be proactive or not, and whether they're offering any loose deliveries down the wicket from Root, but just defends it in the end.
I don't think that. Yeah, I think this wicket is quite slow, and it's not doing much off the seam. Clearly, it's pretty up and down, but it doesn't offer a lot of pace. And they're bowling quite defensive fields, just short of a length on a decent line. They're trying to bowl reasonably dry, and they're succeeding. I think England are going to have to take a chance at some point. They don't, the thing is, they don't actually. I suppose they could just decide we're going to come back tomorrow and score 10 runs. It'd be very annoying for Tone, and he'd probably try and get me to come in and do it.
Would they not? They can't go an extra half an hour or anything, can they? Because obviously with final wickets you can sometimes
I think you
push it
can.
on.
I think you can if you're within sort of a certain amount of runs. I presume you can.
You'd hope so. I guess bad light would be possibly an issue.
Well, it shouldn't be, even at this time of year. I mean, it still doesn't really get dark till 8:30.
Yeah. And I mean they do have enough spinners, the Sri Lankans.
Yes, they certainly do.
Jayasuriya in and just poked back to him from Brook. Yeah, you'd assume that any loose deliveries here, Brook might start to ramp it up, but he's been fairly responsible at the moment. Another defensive shot.
They seem to have gone into a little bit of a shell, though. Completely opposite when they're not trying, I think.
Yeah. I assume they're just thinking there's the pitch isn't that nice to bat on, so why risk it? And he pokes it through the covers there. Brook for a single. Just a little jab on the front foot.
I think this is just very sensible cricket for England.
Un-Bazballian, but very sensible, yes.
Yeah. I don't mind it at all. As Kate Eleanor says, need a wicket, huh? Mike says, a threesome with Toby, Messi and Bear? I don't want to watch this.
Oh, God, no.
And there's lots of discussion about the merits of going to Niagara Falls, which I won't share with you.
Inside edge onto the pad there from Root. Sort of half appeal there, I think, as it struck the pads, but fairly obvious there was a
massive
thick inside edge.
Ball's looking quite old as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same with on a nice little sweep there from Root just to get off strike. Yeah, it was the same in the Sri Lankan innings, of batting innings as well, where the ball sort of got dead fairly swiftly.
It did get dead fairly swiftly.
And then there's not much really you can do within that. And
then hope for a ball change.
Exactly.
The one that does something.
Yeah, bringing the rings out.
Yeah. And they're probably a fair old lick in terms of overs, aren't they?
Yeah, I guess they've had to spin.
Ah, right, they are trying to get a ball change, funnily enough. It's been refused. They've got a slight little mark on the seam and they're trying to...
Yeah, I guess Jayasuriya is basically bowled through for the whole of the Sri Lankan innings, so it's not worry about pace. Up in the air, and it's gone! Harry Brook has chipped the ball straight back to Jayasuriya. He's been told to stay where he is, I think, by Joe Root. Maybe it didn't carry, but Jayasuriya is very, very confident about that. A low catch diving in front of him. And they're celebrating.
I thought initially it was a bump ball, but clearly not.
I don't think Brook's going yet. I think they're going to have a look on the big screen. Third umpire's going to get involved. Yeah, Root's having a little chat saying, just hold your horses here, Harry. Stay where you are.
I don't think it's a bump ball.
Well, that was my initial thought, was it was a bump ball. Then everyone was going out and congratulating themselves. So maybe I just saw it wrong, I suppose.
Here we go.
I thought it carried. I didn't think there was a problem with it carrying. He clearly held it above the ground. I thought it was a question of whether it was a bump ball or not.
Comfortable carry there.
Yeah.
And that is the breakthrough. Harry Brook solemnly walks off the crease.
A little bit of interest all of a sudden.
119 for 4, 86 to win. Brook's gone. Jamie Smith.
That was a strange shot.
It was.
Just sort of prodded his hands at it slightly too hard and bit of a leading edge, and he
came down a little bit, didn't he? He's clearly looking a bit frustrated and wanting to get on with stuff. Well, so the next band will be...
Hey there, Jamie Smith. Are you a good keeper or batsman? Either way, all your hopes of getting a game are fucked.
Yeah, Mog, you said you were going to do a new one for that. No, he's got a game.
He's got a couple good games in him.
Indeed, he has. Yeah. And he's got a lot more ahead of him. No doubt.
You'd hope so. Unless something goes horribly wrong and he doesn't score another run for the next 2 years. I reckon he'll be in the side. Even if he doesn't make a run for the next 2 years, I reckon he'll probably still be in the squad going to Australia in 2025-26. Here he is coming to the crease now, averaging 63.6 from his 4 matches, 250s, 100. Obviously his 111 best score just last innings. Got to his 100 brilliantly yesterday. Helped England sort of push on in their first innings total. Joe Root faces up, just blocks that first ball. Defends out to cover. And we're seeing the wicket here. Any sort of a bump ball? No, it was an inside edge.
No.
Just looped. It did loop a bit funnily. I'll agree with you, Bear. That
I think his bat hit the ground before it hit the ball.
Just sort of
jolted it.
Yeah.
Can't believe it.
It's a shame. He looks so disappointed in himself there. He's batted well. He's not really given many chances.
I bet there's some damage in the dressing room.
Yeah. Oh, slight leap off the pitch there. Interestingly, just outside off, and Joe Root leaves it alone. But just a slight leap off the pitch. England currently 79% on WinViz as favourites. Sri Lanka still 21%. Not out
Well,
of it at all.
I think England
That
a
sounds
little
about
bit.
right,
England
yeah.
are kind of a little bit playing into their hands here by not offering to try and score. Really.
Yeah, it's a very un-English style for the last couple of years.
Exactly. I think if Stokes was in their ears, he'd be like, just get on with it.
Down the wicket from Root and just prods it back off Rathanayake. Yeah, I think it's one of those. Actually, Stokes at 6 would probably come in and just have a dip, have a swing,
Yeah.
try and knock off another 20,
I'm not
30.
sure. I mean, my memory of Stokes is that he actually plays himself in for quite a long time before he starts doing that.
Can do.
I think in a small total like this, he'd want
Yeah,
to try and be the
That's
aggressor.
the thing. I think it's now you got to look at it as 86 runs to win. And if you hang around, you might offer some chances. I mean, you might offer some chances if you score some runs, but if you trundle along at a pretty decent rate,
Oh, Joe Root's limping. He's done something there. Went onto the back foot
Oh,
just to
shit.
defend. Possibly slight issue with his left ankle.
yeah, I think he might have called it. There's the footmarks.
Yeah, there's big holes.
There's big holes where the batsmen are.
Yeah.
He's vaguely okay. He's in a bit of discomfort. Yeah, just landed slightly awkwardly. Perhaps a little twinge on his left ankle, I reckon here.
Yeah.
Just as you can see, his foot goes a little bit,
Yeah,
little
just-
wobble.
Little wobble into the gully there where everyone's been. That's driven back past the bowler. But, oh, no, sorry, it's you.
Yeah, not driven very well, unfortunately. Slight inside edge, doesn't get a hold of it at all. One ball to come in the over here, Rathanayake, who has been so miserly.
Yeah, I think we're really playing into their hands here a little bit. I think someone needs to be a little bit more on the front foot. Root doesn't if he doesn't want to, but I think Smith's come out. He's no preconceptions. Okay, play yourself in, but if it's there to hit it, hit it.
That's the kind of player Smith is. He's very proactive, so I think he will. Any poor deliveries, he's definitely try and get on top of. Root tickles that one away down the leg side. I think off the pad it might have been maybe a faint inside edge.
I think so. They've been up in the pills otherwise.
And Root keeps the strike for the next over.
Kate Eleanor says, I think Sri Lanka will be better at the Oval and Lords. Well, they've started reasonably well. Pirate Padshaw says, Harry's Brook is babbled. Steve Eldersley says, Smith really has a chance to make this his game. Indeed. And Ben McCormick says, squeaky bum time for England, appropriate at Old Trafford. Mr. Rolite says, Root is 23 off 62 balls with no boundaries. Surely that's never happened before. I'm sure it has. We're just used to him sort of easing along and suddenly having 30 off 45 without us noticing.
Defended again from Root. Root just hasn't been as, I would say frenetic's the harsh word, but Root's often out there scoring, out there trying to do something, seemingly taking the positive action. He's not quite been the same.
Yeah, he doesn't
today.
have to smash it around. He's usually quite good at finding a gap and just
Yeah.
manipulating the field and scoring singles.
I think Sri Lanka have just plugged the gaps very well, and you see their field Root almost every single time. Even just a defensive shot, he might be able to get down the other end, scamper through for a quick single. He hasn't quite been able to do that so far, which is often where his sort of biggest strength is.
Yeah.
On the back foot to defend here, Joe Root just leapt very slightly again.
They're letting it get in their head. I'm getting a bit annoyed about this. I think someone does need to take it back to them, make them think about where their field is.
I think Smith will be the man to do that. Whether whether Pope or Stokes have maybe given him a word or not, I doubt. But I think he will want to be on the front foot. Root defends again there,
This is 1970s cricket.
very much so.
Well, just looking at the pictures of the crowd, they're all rugged up like it's bloody February. It must be pretty chilly.
I don't think it's going to be much above 14, 15 degrees today, and in the
Yeah.
stadium it usually feels colder.
Root defends the left arm spin that is Jayasuriya again for another dot ball. I can't imagine they've scored many runs at all.
I mean, it's interesting.
Recently.
Some of us were a little critical of the overuse of the sweep earlier on, and he seems to have put that away pretty much, hasn't he?
Yeah. Root pushes that one through the covers for a single, and yet again maintains strike.
Ah.
not allowing
for-
Jamie Smith anything.
Brook says it's been an enjoyable test, a good effort from Sri Lanka to make a match of it. Possibly my final words of wisdom for the day at about 10:30 p.m. my time. If you pour 2 beers into a large glass, it's still just 1 beer. And he says, come on, Sri Lanka, need a few quick wickets. If this were to happen, would Wood come out to bat, or is he basically knackered? Pretty sure he'd bat.
I'm pretty sure he'd bat. He'd just try and slog it, but he'd still try and bat.
I mean, that's what he does anyway, isn't it? Stand and deliver. I'm kind of surprised to a certain extent that they haven't sent maybe a tail ender. I mean, Wood probably would have been the best option out as a sort of Nighthawk. Joe Root slashes one through the covers quite delicately, but no run in the end. Picks out the man yet again.
Yeah, I think it's not a bad idea, is it? You send out a biffer, and if he scores a quick 20, suddenly it makes Sri Lanka think, and it probably loosens up the guy at the other end, because he probably gets some looser deliveries, because the bowler's suddenly
Put off
his length a bit. Yeah, I mean, at the moment you're just letting them bowl at you, not making them think at all.
Yeah, I guess perhaps it's still a fraction early. There's still over an hour left in the day's play. Rathanayake again to Root onto the back foot, keeps low. He guides it to the man at gully on the floor, but didn't quite get up that one. Root so went onto his back, onto his toes, onto the back foot, and just kept a little bit low, a fraction lower than he would have expected.
Just wondering what the odds are on Sri Lanka.
Probably 5-1 maybe.
I thought more than that.
I reckon a couple wickets and they'll be right back in the game on the bookies' standings.
It's $6.25. That's just over 5-1.
Root advances down the pitch and defends yet again to Rathanayake. I wonder whether they're kind of allowing Root a single at the end of each over at the moment, knowing he's not really scoring.
That also should be quite dangerous in the end. Yeah, Sri Lanka only 5-1. I'm not prepared to go 5-1. I want 10-1.
A few more runs and it might shoot up pretty quickly, I reckon.
Yeah, but then it won't be worth it. I want it now at 10-1. They want my money.
Defended again from Root, right under his eyes, straight into the ground and to the fielder at gully.
Just looking at, while I'm on the betting site, at the US presidential election, Donald Trump $1.91, Kamala Harris $1.91.
Interesting.
Don't get much closer than that.
You would have had a month ago really good odds for the Democrats to get in, you'd think.
Yeah, I took Harris at $2.45, I think it was.
Pretty good. Joe Root flicks one away into the leg side, gets off strike, shaking his head in bemusement almost that he's struggling so much.
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit, isn't he? But I think it's because he's got himself into that mindset.
Yeah. Smith to face up his first ball here. Rathanayake's final of the over. Interesting to see what Smith might do. Whether he comes down the ground, smacks him for 6 over his head, or maybe more likely just defends neatly. But we'll see, I guess, what he's able to do. In comes Rathanayake. Down the pitch comes Smith with a slight inside edge. Just trickles down to fine leg for a single. Off the mark. Retained strike does Jamie Smith.
Let's see what he does to Rathanayake.
Yeah. Hassan says, World Test Championship final, India versus Australia. Well, they're certainly favourites, but there's a long way to go yet. The India-Australia Test Series in Australia is going to be very interesting.
Plus
England-India
as well.
Yeah,
doesn't that come
No,
after?
that'll be after.
That'll be the first series we play at the end of. That'll be our first series in the Test Championship, which is what it was last
England,
time.
Pakistan, England, New Zealand before then. But England were hurt so badly by the penalty points from the Ashes.
Yeah, they were. They got about 30 or 40 points deducted or something. Because I mean, it was 2-2, and we were about 30 points behind Australia, I think, after the Ashes. It was
Killer.
how does that work?
It was a tough one, and I guess England were bottom of the standings before the West Indies series.
Yep.
Smith defends his first delivery against Jayasuriya.
I mean, that's it. I think if you're going to have points deductions, if there's a result, I think you should negate points deductions for slow over rates, because it hasn't really affected the game, clearly, because there's been a result, right? So I know they're trying to do that to make them speed up, but in fairness of those sorts of things.
Single for Jamie Smith, moves on to 2, slightly wristy on drive, down to long on, as he trots down to the non-striker's end.
I think that's quite a safe shot. It's not really turning. Root should try a little bit more on that, be a bit more proactive. Don't have to flourish the drive, just get to the pitch of the ball and push it into a gap. Which he's very good at.
Oh, he sweeps a full one there. They're going to push for 2, I reckon. There's no one down there at a fine leg. He's come around from a deep square position.
First over we scored more than 1 run in about 5, isn't it?
Joe Root moves on to 28. It's a nice little lap sweep, that one. Just round the corner. And a safe one at that as well.
Yeah.
No real risk, particularly when it's a full toss.
And exactly that. They haven't got a leg slip anymore. So if he bowls outside the off stump, suddenly, new partner, and Root, that's it.
He's flying. Another single there. Just through the covers to the man out on the boundary there, sweeping. Bringing Jamie Smith back onto strike. What are the World Test Championship standings right now, I wonder?
I don't know. I can get them up.
India and Australia are both at the top. But if you go to the Cricinfo site for this, you'll see it down the bottom and right-hand side. India on 68.5%, Australia on 62.5%, then New Zealand and Sri Lanka on 50%. England are on 36.5%.
You'd think that perhaps if, hopefully not jinxing it, but 3-0 win here, 3-0 Pakistan, 3-0 New Zealand, England would be right back up there. But I guess, big, heavy defeats to India and a draw against Australia did anything but favours.
Are India going to Australia or Australia going to India?
India to Australia.
India go.
See, that's Australia. You see, if Australia were going to India, you'd fancy heavy defeats for Australia, which would even things up a lot all over the place. But if India do well in Australia, imagine it'll be 2-1 or is it a 3 or 5 test? I presume it's a 5 test series.
5 test series. Yeah.
India did win down under last time.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
Flicked off his pads there from Joe Root.
Oh, they might go for 2 again here,
I think they
Probably
have. Yeah, comfortably in the end. Root's ankle seemingly not an issue. Running completely normal again, nothing ginger about him.
Senor Peel has helpfully pointed out that I mispronounced Kamala Harris's name. It's interesting, I noticed it as soon as I said it, and I think it's because of reading it rather than just saying it. It's weird. Anyhow, my apologies for that.
I'm not really sure what the proper pronunciation is, because I'm pretty sure she said it in a couple different ways as well. I saw on a TikTok video somewhere.
It's Kamala, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Kamala.
I think there's it could be Kamala as well. That's if it's more from her sort of. I think she's got Pakistani heritage, is it?
No, Indian.
Indian
and Jamaican.
No, it's definitely Kamala. Yeah, it's and the Republicans, as Richard Peel points out, try to make ridiculous name sounds out of it.
Yeah, they seem to be flailing, and Trump's, he's a twat.
Defended again from Joe Root off the back foot, this time against Rathanayake, who continues yet again. Must have bowled a fair few on the trot now, or have I just happened to join the same time he came back into the attack, perhaps?
Well, yeah, I think he has. They're going to have to change him out at some point, aren't they? Sita Fernando is the one they haven't bowled a lot. Vishwas bowled a fair bit as well. And obviously, Jayasuriya has bowled entirely from one end, pretty much.
This is his 4th in a row Nothing, America. Guided brilliantly there from Root. It's going to fly away, I reckon. Oh no, there's a man out there. It's slow outfield yet again. The man on the cover boundary gets round just in time as Root guides that one between sort of the slips and a backward point gully region.
At least Root's remembered how to score runs.
Seemingly so. Into the 30s now, Root 33 after a 2 there.
Yeah, I mean, I pray to God that the Democrats win, and if they do, I'm really looking forward to watching Trump self-explode at the end of it all.
I mean,
If he wins, I think I'm just going to hide under a rock.
Yeah, for 4 years.
Yeah.
I reckon he'll probably try and do similar to what he did last time if he loses.
Yeah,
again.
well, that would be interesting because he won't have the state behind him, though, will he? So I think it'll all fizzle out a hell of a lot quicker than it did last time.
Root, sort of slight inside edge out to square leg there.
As a non-sitting president, he won't have all the apparatus that he had last time, and therefore I don't think he'll be able to do it. But it'll be interesting to see him try, and how much big money tries to defend him in the States. I mean, it's kind of like watching a soap opera from a distance.
Well,
it just has a lot more actual real life implications.
They have done some very interesting things, like they've taken over the board of that controls the elections in, I think, Pennsylvania.
It was Georgia. I was watching that the other day. I was reading
Georgia,
about it
that's
yesterday.
right,
Yeah, they've got some right nut jobs in there.
Smith used his feet nicely there and just flicked it through square leg.
Yeah, but that'll be interesting, Messi, won't it? Because say it's quite obvious. It's a margin that they could sort of go and moan about because it's only about 15,000, but 15,000 is quite a lot, right? When you're counting of individuals. What they do, and if the general public then goes, well, actually, what proof have you got, and how much pressure then goes back onto them, or it shows them as being actual idiots, and that's the kind of thing that's interesting from a sociological point, not being there.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Now, interestingly, England have only scored 22 runs in the last 10 overs. At this rate, they're not even going to have a chance of winning tonight, even if they claimed an extra half hour after 7 o'clock. And you've got to wonder what the light will be like then because of the shadows coming across.
Onto the back foot to defend there, Jamie Smith. Jai's Faria continues yet again.
Yeah, well, we should have a switcheroo at the end of this over. Hendo's going to come back in, take over from you. Toby, you're going to move on to socials. And Hattie is going to join us back. And then I'll be back for the last half hour with you and Hendo.
Excellent.
Defended to backward point there from Jamie Smith. Another dot ball. 40.2 overs bowled now. Jai's Faria has bowled 18.2 of them. He's basically bowled from the get-go. Fernando bowled the first 2 and then it's just been him from that end.
You wonder if he'll get tired. Even spin bowlers get tired.
They do have Danandrai De Silva who bowls some handy offies.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll want to go to anyone else. He's got control, doesn't he, Jai's Faria, at the moment?
Onto the back foot. Defended into mid-wicket. He doesn't have a particularly vigorous run-up or bowling action, Jai's Faria. It's all very slow and methodical, so it's not too exhausting for him, you think. Sort of slowly wanders up to the crease. And then it's basically just doesn't even break into a run really, sort of a hop and a skip and then a bowl.
Yeah.
He's defended back down the ground, Jamie Smith.
And 1 ball left and we'll have a little switcheroo. 72 required to win in the final hour.
Very accurate here from Jai's Faria. From Jai's Faria, sorry, and James Smith.
You won.
Dot ball to finish off
Wimbledon
the
won
over.
1-0. But Hendo, I'll tell you all about it as he comes in.
Oh, well, life is good then. Okay, I'll catch you in half an hour.
England currently 133 for 4. Joe Root 34 not out. Jamie Smith just got to the crease 3 not out. Ben Duckett was the first to fall 11 off 14. Caught behind off SC Fernando. Then went the skipper, Ollie Pope, 6 yet again, back-to-back innings. And then Dan Lawrence, a good 34 off 54. But since he fell, England really lacked a lot of progressiveness, advancement of the scoreboards. And Harry Brook made 32, sorry.
Oh, my goodness, what happened there? Rathnayaka is bowling, and Joe Root just pressed forward, got a inside edge onto his pad. Might easily have gone back onto his wicket had his pad not been there as a second line of defence. Now, I didn't realise this, but it makes sense, because having watched Joe Root bat in this innings, he hasn't hit a boundary yet. 34 off 85. He came in and he was just taking singles for fun. And he was, got to about 10 off 11 balls or something like that. And it's just got a little bit more difficult for England, not giving them anything. Sri Lanka now is whipped away off his leg, straight to square leg, who then has a shy at the stumps. It wasn't backed up particularly well, so they did eventually get through for a single. Root moves to 35. But I think, as this ball gets softer, poor bloke actually who was trying to back that up at gully had no idea that the ball was going to be thrown, I don't think, and then made a desperate effort to get across to it and couldn't. Had to be fielded by the man coming off the fence at backward point, deep backward point. 134 for 4, 71 to win. Can they do it in the next hour? In comes Rathnayaka, bowls to Smith. Smith defends up to mid-on. He's got 3 from 13. Yeah, with the softball, the pitch dying a little bit, and a relatively defensive field, it doesn't make it easy to play the big shots that are so beloved of this England team. And Smith, there's a little bit of pressure on him here to get help England over the line here. I mean, I know he's done very well to this point in terms of runs, but it's now a test of temperament as much as anything, and he aims a rather booming drive without a great deal of foot movement, and those can be dangerous because when there is a lack of pace in the pitch, it's quite easy to drag back onto the stumps.
Yeah, just about survived it in the end.
Yeah.
No real danger, but you could see he just wants to get going here. I think similar to Brook, him and Brook and Root were very sort of happy, content, just sat in there and not scoring. I think Smith will want to, be slightly more proactive.
But he's kind of aware that he's more or less the, it depends how you rate Wokes. I do rate Wokes, but he's the almost the last recognised batsman. This is forced back to the bowler and there is no run. Yeah, you don't really want to be relying on Atkinson, Potts, an injured Wood,
and Bashir
to get over the line, do you?
You don't really want many more than 30, maybe, if it's them plus a recognised batter. It's kind of okay, but just the 4 of them and Wokes, if these 2 go.
I mean, the only one who's experienced amongst those is Wood, isn't he? Rathnayaka in, bowls to Smith, and again he pushes firmly at it, gets the inside half of the bat, runs to the shortish mid-wicket. 134 for 4. Hattie's back. I was trying to think I was trying to think who's on tweets. It must be you now.
Me, it is, yes. I'm trying to see the YouTube comments. Some more stuff about Trump and Kamala Harris that we were talking about before. That's a hard name to pronounce here. Beshutez?
That's Leah. Just call her Leah.
Leah. Much easier. It says, I think that Conservatives generally assume that the left does exactly the same shit they do because they can't imagine people being decent and having empathy.
I suppose there must be Conservatives with empathy. I think there probably were in the old Tory party. I'm not sure about now. Jayasuriya will continue. Throws that one up. Root opens the face, steers it through a gap on the offside. There's a man at backward point and there's a man at shortish extra, but there's a wide open space there, although a man guarding the boundary. There's also a long off, so he's got 2 men back on the offside. But he's quite happy to take the 1.
Scott says, route 34 not out with no boundary. Google tells me that the test record is held by Boycott 77 for England against Australia at Perth.
Wow, you'd have thought. I mean, Perth is renowned as was in those days certainly, as a very quick, bouncy pitch. You'd have thought that he would have got a boundary just by deflecting one. Jashiri is back over the wicket, and Jamie Smith opts to come down to meet it, and then doesn't go through with an attacking shot to realise he's not quite there. Defends it, and he's in again. He bowls to Smith. This time he goes back into his crease. Once again plays it with quite nice timing defensively though to mid wicket.
It's good use of footwork there from Smith, trying to get Jayasuriya off his length, going forward then back.
Yeah, absolutely.
See what he does here.
He's in, bowls, and he's back again this time. He does make it past mid wicket. Might get a couple here possibly. Yes indeed, they run back. Root is always pretty rapid between the wickets. Smith is a young man and ought to be. He moves to 5, 137 before England needs 68 more to win. 6 wickets left. Although we don't know what the situation is regarding Mark Wood. I guess England would bat or send him out there if they need to. Hope they won't have to.
The image of Nathan Lyon hopping down the steps comes to mind.
Oh God, yes, I'd forgotten about. Was that last year? Was that in the Ashes last year? It was, wasn't it? Was it that second test? Defended into the onside by Smith. That seems like ages ago now.
Doesn't it? The interview that he had with Wardy brought it back to me.
Jayasuriya in again, pushing it into those footholes, but it's not doing anything decisive out of them, and it's defended by Smith to mid wicket. It's the end of the over. 137 for 4.
Got a message from Justin saying the Folkes versus Smith conversation seems like a very long time ago now.
Well, you say that, but I did notice that Folkes got 82 for Surrey today, in partnership with Rory Burns. Remember him?
Double 100
for him. Double 100 for him. And
Brilliant.
then a huge number of runs for Gloucestershire at Bristol with Charlesworth and James Bracey. Talking of wicketkeeper batsman, James Bracey got an undefeated double 100.
Good effort
today. I suspect we won't see him in an England shirt again. He'll end up as a 1-test wonder, I think.
Was it just the one he played?
Was it just the
was
one?
he played? I feel like he might have played
Series?
2 and he got 3
maybe.
ducks in his 4 innings or something.
You could be right. You could well be right.
He's got a test average of like 0.25 or 0.1. I'll have a look.
I'm always interested in James Bracey because I always look to see how he's done because of that brief England career. And
there we go. 2 tests, 8 runs scored, batting average of 2.66.
oh God, he must have thought the world was at his feet at that point, mustn't he? And then it all went horribly wrong.
It was tough for him though because he was an opener for Gloucestershire when he was sort of called into the side. Maybe batting 3, and then batted down at 7 in a very unfamiliar position to him.
Vishwa Fernando comes into the attack to replace Nika. I'll just look to jingle him up.
Every delivery delivered by a manic fiend. That is what I want to see. Vishwa Fernando.
He's only followed up 4 overs in this innings. He's gone for 26. No swing for him there. Left arm over the wicket. And he's not even bothered with a slip. Oh, now Root goes back to that. Was trying to work it squarer than it ended up. Just for a moment, it might have been alarmed at the fact that it went in the air, but it dropped well short of mid wicket. And there is no run. Let's see if we can work out this field. There's a leg slip, and there's also a man sort of wandering across to a position around about 4th slip, and then you've got people short on the off and onside. In he comes, bowls to Root's onto the back foot and defends. I've got a horrible feeling that some people are going to have to come back tomorrow. Won't be me. Won't be me.
Some other unlucky sod.
Some bastard, some poor bastard. Yeah, possibly the bear.
most likely the Bear, I'd have thought.
Seeing as he's the nearest.
James Bracey, 2 test matches.
Yeah.
He had an 8-ball duck, a first baller, and an 8 off 20.
So he only scored in 1 innings.
Yes.
Fernando into Root. Root will take an easy single as he just presses that out square on the offside. Still sunny in Manchester. Has Manchester ever seen so many hours of sun?
They've timed it well, haven't they?
You know how sometimes it absolutely pisses down, like it did a little bit here today, and they say you've had 1 month's rain in 1 day. I think Manchester's had
Yeah.
all its sun for this month today. Bring Smith down to face. Root has 37 off 91. Smith has 5 off 21. And England needs 67 more to win with 48 minutes on the clock. In he comes, bowls straight and full to good length really to Jamie Smith. Defends onto the offside. Now I was looking while I was out in the green room. I just caught my eye. It always catches my eye when I see someone slagging off TMS. Just for the fun of it, and someone on the County Cricket Matters was, the rubbish they were talking, and God knows what they were talking about. And I read some of the comments, and then halfway down the comments, Matt Searle had said the best commentators are on Guerrilla Cricket, and he sent a. And so, Matt, if you're listening, thank you very much for that. I don't know whether it helped in terms of anyone coming to listen to us. Tucked away through square leg, and I'll take a single. Now, there are still some good people that I wouldn't, and I'm quite happy to listen to on Test Match Special. Dan, of course, late of this parish, and Simon Mann, and that's about it. I'm trying to think of who else there is on on Test Match Special that I want to listen to.
I really like Isha Guha, particularly as a presenter. To present the Olympics, I think.
She's done a bit of Wimbledon tennis as well, hasn't she?
Yeah, I think she's a very good.
I think Isha Guha came into her own when she went to Australia. And funnily enough, people talked about, I would think, amongst those very macho Australian bunch, that she might struggle in that environment, but she actually seemed to be almost more respected there,
Yes,
which was interesting.
Got a few more messages in. Steve saying, well, it's Steve's one here. Higher up now. Looking more like a 5-day game than ever. Obviously talking about the lack of runs. A very un-Baz Boolean. We also had Jeremy saying that the 77 of boycotts at the Wacker took 7 hours and 34 minutes, 357 deliveries. That is
Wow.
That's painful.
hard. Almost drove him mad.
Were you there? Were you there, Messi?
Uh,
Actually, at the ground for the innings itself. That would have been brilliant if you had to sit through that in the Perth heat. That would have been funny.
We've got a message from Scott Harrison saying Wood's going to be out. So for me, Jimmy back in for Woods.
No, that's not going to happen. I think what will happen, although it would make for a relatively inexperienced attack, is that Ollie Stone will come in. It'll mean that I think they would have probably rested Wood after this game and then maybe brought him back for the 3rd test. Because I think they've got to give Potts a couple of games, and if they're going to give Ollie Stone any chance, he's got to have the 2nd and 3rd test.
Yeah, I'd like to see Stone in, even if Woods, I think he's unlikely to be 100%. And I think why risk him?
Well, he's only 4 days away, isn't it? 4
Yeah.
or 5 days away. I mean, and although he hasn't bowled a great deal, didn't even bowl a great deal in the first innings, really. But there's no point in making him play back-to-back tests if he doesn't need to.
No, exactly. And I think Stone would offer something slightly different. He's not quite as quick as Woods, but I think similar to Atkinson, he's got sort of good amount of skill around him as well. I remember watching him play in India. I think I mentioned earlier on the stream that he has a lot more than just sort of the raw pace that might be associated with him. He's not quite the 90-mile-an-hour bowler, but he sort of gets the ball to nibble around a little bit off the seam, and has his own sort of skill in a different way than Wood does.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, England will be looking ahead to next summer,
Yes.
welcoming back, or I would imagine, interchanging Jofra Archer and Mark Wood against India if they possibly can.
I reckon they'll try and play them together if possible.
They might do, but a 5-test series, it's I think it'd be a bit of an ask. And the other thing they won't want to do is they won't want to break either or both of them before the Ashes either.
Just imagine, 10 overs into a game, Wood and Archer are both down, and you've got Stokes and Wokes as your only two seamers for the remainder of the match.
Well, of course, and you know, Stokes made such a difference to this team when he came back and was able to bowl, until he got the injury in the 100. He really did show what was missing quite a lot of the time against Australia last year. Anyway, 139 for 4 as a score. We're having drinks, I think. So
Long drinks break.
it does seem quite long, doesn't it? I'm struggling. I've done so much talking today that my throat is beginning to rebel. 139 for 4, Root 37, Smith 6. Jaya Surya has bowled a very long spell. Did he come off at all, or does he bowl straight through? I'm not 100% sure. Got 2 for 63 from 20. Is there another twist or another turn to this game? I'm not entirely convinced that there isn't.
I think it would have to be a pretty soon the breakthrough for Sri Lanka to really get on, and probably a double strike, triple strike.
Well, I think one of these plus Wokes would be really interesting. Outside the leg stump, as Jaya Surya continues from back over the wicket, Smith defends. And when you're a player like Smith, who's already hasn't played that much in general terms, I'll come back to that as Jaya Surya is in again, bowls, and once more on the line of leg stump, defends it back to him. Playing in a slightly unfamiliar way. I mean, you'll be itching, your muscles will be itching to play those big shots because that's what you've kind of got used to, and he's having to show a different side to him. That said, he did back quite sensibly and relatively slowly in the first innings to get that 100. Jaya Surya in again. Oh, now that's turned as he pushes at that, and I think it went past the outside edge, hit him on the pad.
Yeah, thigh pad possibly.
Thigh pad, yeah.
Inside of his leg.
But I imagine it was pitching outside the leg, definitely.
Very much so. Yeah, got a good bit of time and left a little cherry on his inner thigh.
A little mark. Just a slip and a short square leg, and he swept that one. Brilliant effort. I imagine that's still Mendes there at backward square leg, but he couldn't. He kind of belly flopped towards it. He's not a big man, and he just didn't have the length to get his hand upon it. But it's 4 runs to Jamie Smith, so breaking the shackles ever so slightly.
Now my engine's going, great guns, I hit the ball. 4 runs, I hit the ball, and it went for 4 runs.
And Rushi's saying, how do you do that? I've got 12,000 runs in Test cricket and I still haven't hit a 4. Jaya Surya in again, shorter. He goes back and forces hard, and well, that's a really good shot. He does play that shot very well, and that's going to beat the man from mid-on to the boundary. So consecutive 4s for Jamie Smith. England bring the target down to 62.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary, crossing a boundary.
I do love a back foot drive through the onside.
Yeah, it was a lovely shot. That's the kind of commanding Jamie Smith that I've grown to know and love at Surrey. It's good to see him doing it for England.
58
That's
now.
almost like trademark Smith, isn't it? That we've
Yep.
come to see in him in Test cricket.
And the next one, he just pushes into the onside through the mid-wicket area, takes another single. 57 required, so signs that Jamie Smith is getting the pace of this pitch. England 148 for 4. Hattie, I got the feeling you were trying to come in at some point there and say something, and I had to sort of commentate over you. Was there something you had on your mind?
No, that's fine.
Okay. Okay.
Whatever I was going to say is gone now.
It's gone.
So it's fine.
Yeah, that normally happens with
But
me.
thank you.
No worries at all. Any tweets then? Or YouTubes?
No tweets, YouTube-wise. Richard says, I demand you top the Manchester is rainy slander. As far as test grounds go, Cardiff and Leeds both get much more rain. I think we can have a look to see which the wettest cities are in the UK.
That's a good point, yeah.
Scott says when Root wins games from these positions, it really shows his class. Just as much as 100 when there is less pressure on. Root digging in, so to speak, says Steve as well. 20 runs since Brook was out.
Well, I think that might have well been written before Smith hit those boundaries. But he's facing up again to Vishwa Fernando, and he's down the wicket, and meets that solidly with the full face of the bat. But the length is such that he can't get power in it to get it past the bowler.
Okay, I've got a list here from freeflush.co.uk.
Free flush.
Freeflush.co.uk.
Okay.
With which is the rainiest city in the UK. Number 1 is a non-cricket one, Glasgow.
Right.
Would you guys like to have a guess at the wettest cricketing city?
Onto the back foot goes Smith and defends into the offside square.
Leeds.
Leeds is up there. It's number 2 as wettest cricketing
Surely got to
city.
be Manchester, hasn't it?
Manchester is number 3.
Wettest English city.
I don't want to say
UK
something.
city.
Oh,
not
sorry, UK
English.
city. So
Gives us
I'm
away a
guessing
little bit.
Cardiff.
It
then.
is Cardiff, yes.
So he's absolutely right. Cardiff and Leeds apparently are wetter. Vishwa Ian bowls when he's tried to launch that on the leg side. Big appeal from Vishwa. Chances are it pitched outside leg, and that's certainly what the umpire thinks.
Just a bit.
But
Quite some distance.
no interest from his captain in reviewing. They've only got one review left, Sri Lanka, so they've kind of got to be fairly sure. Yeah, it's pitched outside leg, and it was probably missing left because it actually, if anything, it came into him ever so slightly. Anyway,
Yeah, that was a bold appeal, I reckon.
yeah. Was other wettest cities in England or UK? Fernando in bowl short. Oh, and he gets turned round a little bit of that. Maybe played a bit early. And although he was trying to push it into the onside, it ends up running towards mid-off.
So city-wise, Glasgow number 1, St David's number 2, Cardiff number 3, Newry. I
Newry?
assume that's in Wales as well, maybe.
No, Newry's Ireland, isn't
Ah.
it? Northern Ireland.
Yes.
And Bangor number 5, which
Is
is
also
Wales.
Wales.
Yeah, there's a lot of Welsh in there.
Lots of Welsh. Well, they always say the west is rainier, don't they? Oh, no, he's pulled that, but he seemed to have pulled it uncomfortably. He might still get a boundary for it. He does. Where the fielder was running round from deep mid-wicket, and somehow that has gone for another of these.
2 plus 2 is our number.
Oh, I think who is that out there? I think he started to run
Didn't
in
pick
the
it up
wrong
at all,
direction,
did he?
didn't he? He starts going to his left. Yep, he's looking for it. He's going to his left, and then someone says, "Hey, mate, wrong way."
It's a nice shot that by Smith. Just rolls the wrist, keeps it down. No chance of a top edge.
He's on to 19 now from 34. Final ball of Vishwa's over. He bowls and he defends, and he might get another run here. He will, because he's played it very straight, just past the bowler, past the stumps, and that gives him the chance to come through for 1. He moves to 20. England 153 for 4.
Rather a cheeky glance back at the bowlers if say, I got you there.
Maybe a cheeky look at Joe Root to say, hey, I've kept the strike.
Exactly. My turn to do it now.
Yeah, indeed. We're getting talk coming through
Ooh.
about wet cities.
Yeah, Richard says, check your sources. Mine are the Met Office from 1981 to 2015. Manchester is 15th on the list.
What? 15th?
Well, yeah.
That low.
To be fair, I think Manchester was about 15th on this list too, just third of cricketing.
Yeah, Messi should be on there. Someone's just said, I think Steve Edersley said, Manny should be in on this. Where are you, Messi? The Weather Cave should have some statistics going back years. No, he makes room for himself and he plays beautifully off the back foot. All the man at short mid wicket can do is deflect it up to a slightly deeper set mid on and then shake his hand in pain Smith moves to 21. Root is on 37. It looks like Smith has decided that no one should come back tomorrow. So got half
I
an
can
hour.
tell you, Hendo, that the worst city for rain loss in Test matches is actually Sydney.
Really? When it does rain in Sydney, it does rain. Now, what's happened here? That was swept by Root, and I can only imagine that it looked like it was going behind square, and it must have rebounded off the foot of the man at short square leg and diverted towards mid wicket. Anyway, Root takes the single, goes to 38, 155, 50 to win in 34 minutes. Jayasuriya over the wicket to Smith. Smith sweeps and gets an edge, a top edge. It runs through the sawdust directly behind the wicket keeper, and they will get a couple, I would think, maybe 3. They come back for the third, but that was a little bit of a false shot. Maybe if it had the leg slips sort of finer, there might have been a chance of a catch there, but it has gone very much. I might have stayed in the air long enough for a leg slip to have moved across and taken that.
Yeah, just off the glove over his head, Jamie Smith there.
He's on to 24. In again, another sweep from Root. Has he got a boundary yet? No! It's too deep backward square. And it's just another single. 39 to Root. Well, I mean, Root, you'll just be happy to pick up another half century here, won't he? 52 not out. 52 not out. He'll be very happy with that. What would that be, a 64th Test half century to go with his? Is it 32 or 33 hundreds?
Sounds about right.
Jayasuriya, 2 for 78.
32 Test hundreds, and this will be a 64th.
64th. In again, bowls. Oh, now he's gone for the big hit, has Jamie Smith. There's a man isn't back. He's not all the way back. But even if he was, he probably wouldn't have got that close to it. Smith has decided that this ball must go. It's gone all the way for one of these.
Could have placed it better if they tried.
Well, he sent it down one of the sort of gangways, hasn't he, of the steps out of the ground. It looked like the guy who was trying to catch it had caught it, but then it seemed to get away from him. He's gone for the sweep, and again it's gone very fine indeed. And that might even beat the man after it. No, he slides, and it's going to be probably just the 2 this time.
Such a slow outfield down there, isn't it?
It's been a slow outfield the whole game, hasn't it? I mean, when you think back to the West Indies Test against Trent Bridge, the ball was just flying to the boundary in that match. And I know there's obviously been rain in Manchester, but even so, it's been remarkably slow. And I think Jamie Smith sort of alluded to that yesterday, having got his 100 and speaking after the game, that you didn't feel like you were getting quite full value for your shots. But he's got England going here, and he's enjoying himself. He might get to 50 before Root at this rate.
A few more messages in. Scott asks where the Test against Zimbabwe will be next year.
Where or when?
Where? Trent Bridge, I think.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think so. We've also got message in from Chief Wardo saying Sydney has been particularly bad in recent times. The Shield has often been interrupted there.
Oh, I know. I spent a few days in Sydney where it's absolutely teamed down all day. When it rains, it really does rain. Fernando bowls to Root, and Root chops this. Trying to get it between the wicketkeeper and the man at 4th slip. There is no other slip apart from him. But unfortunately for him, directs it straight to that man, and there is no run.
Yeah, Sydney's particularly bad in March, I think.
38 required by England now. Should do it, I think, now with the way that Jamie Smith is playing, unless of course he gets out. 32 off 39 for him.
It's going nicely.
Root facing Fernando, and he chops again. And well, if you can't get it through between the wicketkeeper and the fourth slip, you might as well chop it into the ground and get it over him, which is what Root has done.
It's his first four.
And he's got a boundary! Woohoo! I think we need some.
Apologies to the background noise.
And 3 and 4.
Said that without even moving my lips.
I was going to say we must have a mini Hattie in the house.
Yeah,
Is that
not
right?
so many, but
Not
yes.
so many. The fifth wicket partnership is now worth 52, of which Root has contributed 20. He's gone into the 40s, 43 from 95. He got, what did he get in the first inning? 42. Round the wicket, Fernando hits him on the pad. That's worth a shout. And the umpire says no. Now, bearing in mind that 38 or 34 is all England need, and Sri Lanka have one review left. You've surely got to review that, haven't you?
I think that looked pretty good. The only thing that might save him was he was quite far down the wicket.
Yeah,
So-
it doesn't seem to make so much difference these days. That's going to be a review from the bowler.
That was out, that was out, that was definitely out. Was that definitely out? I don't know.
Has he got an inside edge? Oh, I think he's got an inside edge there, hasn't he?
It's hard to tell from this angle. They'll get the Snicko up.
I thought I saw a deflection, but maybe not. Let's have a
No,
look.
he's got an inside edge. He's not out.
Absolutely. No, he's no inside edge, according to that. According to Ultra Edge. So,
You can't see any of the stumps there as well, so it's going to
No.
be pretty tight, I reckon. He's quite a long way down though, and he's a long way
The
down.
umpire's call will be not out. So
Yeah.
impact is umpire's call. Would you believe it's hitting leg stump, the top of, and it is. You're right. It's over 3 meters, so it's the umpire's call. That's very unlucky for poor old Vishwa. And so
Oh,
Root
shame.
survives. Root doesn't have to make do with another 40, and still has that 64th half century in his sights.
A few more messages about the possibility of coming back tomorrow. Mayank says, could see England need 15 or 20 tomorrow. Richard says, if England take the extra time, they will wrap up this tonight. These two look pretty set. And all it takes is a couple boundaries to motor it along, which is what's been happening.
I guess that was written just before Root. nearly
Yes.
it was out LBW. Fernando again into Root. Root back, plays that off the back foot, plays it
there
well.
you go.
He'll only get a single, I
Guess they
suspect.
got someone there now. Yeah.
Just the one. He goes to 44, 172 for 4. Looks like it'll be the end of my day in about 2 balls' time as the bear
And
moves
mine too.
back into position. Thanks, Hattie. Thanks for your contribution. Messi will be
Yeah,
returning.
you're welcome.
And let's see if Smith can play a couple of booming drives just to help England on their way. Fernando then in, none for 38. Bowls to Smith, and Smith defends a ball. If anything, nibbles ever so slightly away from him, but the pace of the pitch is such that he was able to adjust. We're having a little bit of a problem with the satellite. The picture is breaking up a little bit. It's not actually raining, is it? It may be raining a bit, but it's not absolutely bucketing down.
Not compared to earlier.
No, and it'd be
It's all
it'd be a terrible
daytime.
shame if oh. It'd be a terrible shame if we completely lost the picture, which we did for a second, but it's come back.
Commentator's curse there.
That said, it's not easy to see what's going on. Final ball of the over.
been doing it all
It's
day, so-
defended, and we've lost the picture again, which is, it seems to me, a very appropriate time to hand over to the bet. Oh,
It was a dot ball.
it was a dot ball. Yeah.
Yeah, just played where a short leg would have been, but all along the ground.
Great. We're not getting a signal. Thanks, Hattie. It's goodbye from me for today.
Thank
I'll be
you.
back on Wednesday or Thursday
Thanks,
for the first day
Hendo.
of the second test.
See you again soon.
Well, I can give you some coverage, albeit slightly delayed, until the picture comes back.
That might have to be the option,
I have
I
have to tell you that I'm really pissed off about that being an umpire's call when it's more than 3 meters down the wicket. I get that the umpire might find some difficulty making a decision, but the truth is he was out.
Yeah, it's a confusing one.
It's an old one, isn't it? But it is kind of how they've written the laws. So
I think it must be sort of from when Hawkeye first came in, and there was a bit of uncertainty about how accurate it is. But I mean, all the tests of recent times seem to suggest that it's almost 100% accurate. So why would 3 meters make it a difference? I guess.
Indeed. Well, we've gone on to Sky Sports Go, which we've got in front of us, so we can watch.
Oh, so you've got to. Oh, now it's coming back. Whoops, sort of.
Yeah, sort of. I think the weather here is pretty shit. Seems to be a little bit of break and play. Sita Fernando is coming back into the attack.
It's back, and it's not back.
It's not back, and he got knocked out to the offside, and I think they went for a single, but we'll see when we get this other screen going.
About 30 seconds later, we'll let you know what happened.
That's the problem with the Sky Go, it's just so slow.
Pokey also said, sod that, come back tomorrow, don't take any risks.
No, but they can take some extra time today, apparently. I didn't realise they could, but they can. If England think they can get around.
They did have a single off the first ball of the over out to cover.
It still hasn't happened on Sky Go. It's outrageous.
Oh, right. Smith's on 32, facing Roots on 45. Excuse me, I'm getting the Hendo disease. It's 173 for 4.
Yeah, right.
Have you got it yet?
Yeah, we got it. We haven't got a TV, obviously, but we've got this. We're gonna go off Sky Go, so you're going to be ahead of us now. Actually, Messi, that'll be a novelty for you, won't it?
I'll try to restrain my whoops of excitement.
When a wicket falls. Well, England only require 32 now, and you wonder what they got 20 minutes before they can claim the extra 20 minutes. So I mean, the extra half hour. Presumably they only need about 10 or 11 runs in that half an hour. I'm pretty sure if it gets that far, they'll probably try and close it out reasonably quickly and take some chances. That's down a leg stump. Nice clip by Smith, but can't beat Angelo Matthews at mid-wicket, and there ain't no run.
I saw a tweet from, I think it was George DeBell earlier today, saying Sher Bashir is only 2 wickets short of Angelo Matthews in Test match cricket.
What?
Which is he's only taken 2 wickets less than Angelo Matthews, apparently.
That's only taken that few Test wickets. That's
Apparently
outrageous.
so. I'll verify now, but that seems
That's crazy.
mental if it is true.
Well, Smith facing up, and Sita's in, puts it out into the offside, just through the covers. Guy comes in from the outfield, fields, and there's a single.
Angelo Matthews has 33 Test wickets. Sher Bashir has 26. So a couple more than 2, but still very, very close. Not many wickets from Matthews there.
I thought he was a pretty good bowler in his day, and he bowled.
In 109 matches, yes.
Yeah, I thought he bowled more than that when he was in the side. But anyway. Yeah, there's a steady downpour in Sydenham, which is why we have no TV signal. I'm sure once it moves over a little bit, it'll come back. Meanwhile, Sita Fernando's into Rooty, who just works it into the leg side, and there ain't no run.
Bowling average of 54 in Test match cricket from Angelo Matthews.
Interesting.
Not particularly great.
Great.
Average is about 30 in T20Is and ODIs. 47 in first class.
Yeah, not great.
Bit of a one-day bowling.
Yeah, clearly he was
specialist.
Yeah, he was pretty useful in a one day. I guess it was the pace off. He was never particularly quick. That thing.
Yeah.
Hit the ball. Fernando is in. Root just defends back to him, and there is no run.
Also, probably not helped by his home conditions as a seamer. Obviously, very spin dominant.
Yeah.
The Sri Lankan conditions generally. So he probably bowled a few with the new ball,
And
a few with the reversing
I wonder
ball.
if he got a fair few of those wickets in England actually. In that series in 2016.
Very possibly.
Probably when he came over as a youngster.
Yeah. I think he was always thought of a bit more as a sort of batter than a bowler.
Yeah, but he was a genuine all-rounder, wasn't he? I mean, which was good. I thought we were going to have the TV back then for a second, but we haven't. There we are. No, we haven't. Fucking get on with it. Last ball of the over from Fernando. It's worked into leg side by Rooty. They got 2 mid wickets. and both reasonably short, and he hits one of them. And there ain't no run. 31 required for England to win this match. They have taken their time over it, which is not very baseball, but I guess they want to get across the line. The pitch is interminably slow. There's a ball pulled by Smith out to deep mid wicket.
It's like the hokey cokey this, in out the signal.
Yeah, very much so.
So, have you reached the end of the over there?
Yeah, we just had the first ball. The TV came back now, so we're back on TV time. But that might go again, so you never know. But we
Richard
saw.
Peel says, speaking of boundaries, I saw Bruce Springsteen in Philly last night. I must have heard about 21, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, probably. He goes on forever, doesn't he? That's into the pads of Root, and he can work that down to long leg. They'll get a single, and the runs needed are in the 20s. 29 required. Counting down now. The tension seems to be slipping a little bit. You've got 6 wickets left and 29 runs.
I can see Mike has corrected me because Bashir picked up 3 wickets in the first innings, so he's actually on 29, not 26. So it's just a 4 wicket difference.
Well, yeah. Well, Fernando comes in, Vishwa around the wicket, left arm, of course he is. Smith just plays out to cover, and there is no run. Smith doesn't seem to have a problem knocking it about the park. Root has. He got stuck with Brook, isn't it? But I think Smith being able to manipulate has reminded Brook that he is a very good Test player, and he can actually find some gaps somewhere if he needs to.
Just clicked in his head. Oh yeah, I can play this game. Oh, and the TV's gone.
Once more.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's back. Nope.
It's bitty. Driven. Where did it drive to? Straight to. Looks like just cover, and they didn't get a run. Yeah, TV's gone again. So we're back to. We just watched the ball that we watched on the telly. It's going to come up shortly on Sky Go, so we're a little bit behind again. Sorry about this, peeps. It's all a bit suspenseful, isn't it? If there wasn't football on, I think you could probably go to the Sky main channel.
Yeah, they're not going to put cricket on over football, are they?
They're not going to put cricket on over football. I think they've got a run, if I look at the distorted TV.
They have.
To backward point. 27 required, so they must have scored another run in there as well, yeah. They took a quick single to mid-off previous to that ball, and then Rooty hit it square out to point. They got a single. We're going between 2 feeds. One is about a ball and a half behind the actual live feed. But the live feed keeps cutting out.
This is some sort of GCSE question where it's like,
Yeah.
something happened 2 minutes ago and you describe it now, but in the middle this happened and then before that was that.
What's the equation? Well, yeah, that's the ball we just saw. Played out but to point to bring it down to 27. Well, we've got 15 minutes left. Does someone attack when it gets to 20? And then you just send Woody out and say hit some sixes.
Yeah, I think if Woody wasn't injured, I think he would almost certainly be a next, you think, just to try and get it done. But would they want to sort of risk it? I don't know. Maybe send Atkinson out. He's got a good eye, good time with the ball. He can hit a long ball as well.
Well, he's got his thigh pad on.
I wonder if he might be the next thought then.
As we look at that, Fernando's in, pulled, he dropped it short, there's no one out there, that's 4 runs. Great shot from Jamie Smith. The pressure is easing with every ball. 4 runs.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, commanding shot there from Jamie Smith.
Just dropped it short, didn't he? With no pace, it sat up and said hit me. And there's
Just
no one out at cow.
Sits on the front foot there and just pulls it over mid-wicket effectively.
Yep. One in front of square. That isn't going to help him.
Brings England ever closer to the total. Talking about who might be in next, they might not need it if Smith keeps going.
Well, yeah, I mean, ideally they shouldn't. And the closer this gets, the easier it gets to score the runs and take a risk, because it doesn't really matter if you're out either.
It's interesting though, because if, say, Smith or Root get out here, England also don't get out here, England will win by 6 wickets, kind of suggesting a fairly comfortable win, perhaps more comfortable than...
Well, I mean, in real terms, I guess it is a comfortable win. I mean, they got in their own headspace at the time, and you have to say, you know, Sri Lanka put up a good fight, but at the end of the day, the wicket isn't very helpful. And England were able to weather the storm and actually then push on again. 182 for 4. That's just defended out to mid wicket, and there's no run. So, you know, I, in real terms, yeah, it will be. I mean, it's been a good fight back by Sri Lanka, considering where they were. They were 6 for 3 and 1 for 2 in the second innings. So, you know, they've had their moments, but in real terms, a 6-wicket win would probably reflect fairly. It's not been an easy wicket to bowl on, and they're not really any demons, as that's played up to mid-on. There's no run. Not any demons in the pitch. It's just been hard to score as the game's gone on.
Yeah,
It's slow. It's low. Not a great deal of turn. Not a lot off the wicket. A little bit in the air when the ball's new, and maybe later when it roughs up and gets a bit of reverse. But
it's not reversed that much though.
No,
I think because it's been the outfield's so lush, so wet. It's not really offered that sort of abrasion that you need to get the ball reversing.
Yep.
Which is, I think, has just made the game even tougher, because normally you kind of think 60 overs, 50 overs, 70 overs is actually the bowling team might come back into it.
Exactly. Root pushes that out behind square. Are they going to try for 2 this time? The guy had to get around. No, they just stick at 1. And it moves down to 22 required, or should be 21, I thought. But hey.
Root on to 48 now. Edging closer. Smith on 39, catching up.
Yeah, just 47 deliveries, and Root's taken, 106, which is old school Root.
Oh!
I think something might be happening soon.
Oh! Well, let's see what happens. Jamie Smith is facing up. And Asita Fernando is around the wicket. Comes in, bowls. He's bowled him. He's bowled him with a Yorker.
Brilliant ball there from
Absolutely
Fernando.
great. He was going to drive it, went under the bat. And that's why Messi was going, oh!
Couldn't contain myself.
Couldn't contain yourself. It's difficult, isn't it? Well, I think he's probably done enough to get England across the line.
Yes.
But we will send him off with another jingle.
Another one bites the dust.
He's just yorked him,
I think that
basically.
is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
A very full delivery. He's gone to drive it, and it's gone under his bat. And it's a good delivery. Probably a little bit too late.
Player of the match, I think.
I think, what, Jamie Smith?
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, if England win, it's possible they could get 5 for 20. I've seen England do worse, let's be honest.
Makes the final 45 minutes interesting.
Yeah.
Or more interesting, if not interesting.
Well, I guess whoever comes in kind of has license to try and hit a 4. Cut the 4s here and
yeah, finish it swiftly.
finish it swiftly.
What England really don't want is to have to come back tomorrow, you think, though?
No, when they've got 45 minutes to score 20 runs, you think they'll be able to do that. And Tony's not really going to be happy because he's going to try and get me to come in, but tomorrow looks like there's a lot of rain. There's no way I'm coming in here to do shit for him just because it's if I'm going to sit here all day doing rain. Plus, my missus will go mental.
Yeah. George McPherson says it'd be great if these two can get the remaining runs. Well, sorry, that's gone. Mayank's got his tongue firmly in his cheek when he says, honestly, I blame Labour. They've been in power for ages now, and still the internet and satellite is shite. Although George McPherson didn't think that was funny, he said it's not Labour's fault. I don't think he was serious. Switch to Crick Info. Relying on Crick Info, says Mike. That's true skill.
No.
And Perko says, bar Crick Info, teletext update should be enough to commentate from.
Well, yeah. Well, I think the skies are going to clear shortly, so we should get the main feedback. But meanwhile, this man's in. He's going to face his first delivery, which is on his legs, and it's full. And it's been clipped quite sweetly out into the deep. They should get back to 2. No? Just the 1.
Off the mark first ball, showing Rooty how to do it.
Yeah, well, it was a leg stump half volley, wasn't it? Well, it was a leg stump full toss, actually. Low full toss, so sweet.
Smith almost yorks himself here,
Yeah,
I think,
he
doesn't
did.
he?
He pressed down the track a bit, didn't he? He did end up yorking himself.
He's a long way out of his crease. And yeah, just goes under the bat. Slightly inside the line as well.
Good ball by the bowler. But as we say, probably a little bit too late. Fernando in to Root, who turns that around a corner. This time it should only be one. 20 runs required. 5 wickets in hand. They've got 9 minutes to decide whether they're going to take the extra 20 minutes.
I think they should, really.
Of course they should. I don't think anyone wants to come back tomorrow to score 10 runs.
No.
I think the umpires will give them the benefit of the doubt and say go for it.
Watch Bad Light stop play with about 3 to win.
I don't think going to be no bad light up there.
There's always a way. We're in England here, Bear.
This is true.
It does look.
Well, I mean, the sun is in the process of setting.
Yeah, but not for a while. It's still, late August, admittedly, but it's not setting at 7:30. Hendo, I don't know if you can just turn the channel down one and then go back up to this. It might pick it up. If the sky's clearing. If you're still there, Hendo. No. No, clearly not. 4:04. No?
Doesn't fancy it.
Doesn't fancy it at all. That's
sunset
cut.
isn't until 8:15.
Yeah, exactly. Cut out to point, and there is a single. Come on, TV. Get in. No.
And that is 50 for Joe Root.
It is. Oh, we'll pound a jingle.
Yeah.
Half a century.
64th Test 50 for Joe Root in his 144 matches. Pretty good effort. 32 hundreds.
And his average is 50.29.
Back up into the 50s. Good to see.
Jaisaria around the wicket. Root. No, it's not Root. It's Wokes. Drives up to mid-off and there's no run. See, in ODI they've run that.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I guess they might be a fraction deeper in ODI on the ring. He's sort of a more regulation.
Oh, look. Some TV pictures. They've gone again. Root.
Teasing you.
Around the wicket is Jaisaria, who plays to Wokes, who goes on the back foot, forces it out to the offside. There's no run. Oh, it's trying to come back in. The sky is clearing. I think the sun's quite active at the moment as well, which doesn't help. I've noticed our TV aerial signal at home, it's pretty crap. Down the track comes Wokes, drives it hard, but hits mid-off. Shame, and there's no run.
Yeah, try to be proactive here. Wokes looking to score, which is good to see. Obviously, wants to get it done. Have an extra day off, extra day on the golf course.
Well, yeah, he's quite a correct batsman as well, Wokes. He could probably go over the top and straight. It wouldn't surprise me. He goes on the back foot, turns it round a corner. Too much pad. It's fielded and there's no run.
Yeah, don't take the single. Yet again, one you could maybe scamper through for.
A bit too close to field at that time.
Yeah, well, they'd appreciate the break because, I mean, the next test only starts on Thursday.
Exactly. He goes back this time and defends in the crease out into the covers and there's no run. Ended that over. 186 for 5.
Mike says England about to collapse and lose my one.
Oh, it's possible.
Teletype and a sound effect table. Guerrilla cricket commentary. Yeah, OG cricket commentary, sorry. George McPherson says, this was a shocker. England players always giving away their wickets. You're very harsh, George. You really are. Time for Root to get a move on and get England the win. King's Gambit says, Messi should do at least one ooh when absolutely nothing happens. Yes, I think that's a very good idea. Then you won't know. Well played, Root. England have got this, says Pay the Toll.
Just dropped into the outside by Rooty and he gets a single. It'll come back shortly, Hendo. Don't worry. I think the cloud is moving away, which is causing the atmospherics.
We had some Bundesliga for a second there.
Yeah, we did.
Some Borussia Dortmund.
Thought we were going to get an instance of Arsenal versus Villa.
Still,
is it 0 still?
Still 0-0, I think.
That's all right. I've got Saliba in my fantasy team, so I'm quite happy with that.
Pirate Badshaw gives us some tech info. Says rain fade. The column of rain doesn't need to be on top of you. It just needs to be in the middle of you and the satellite, which is hovering over the Kivu province in the Democratic Republic of Congo. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Outside half of the bat from Wokes goes down towards the gully where it's fielded, and there is no run. 18 runs required.
We've got a headline of the day from Nestler's. A would-be burglar in Rome was caught after stopping to read a book on Greek mythology in the middle of a robbery.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I love it. I wonder if there's any truth in it at all.
Where's that from? Rome Daily. Fernando. Fernando. Is it in? Oh, it's driven aerially. Oh, wow. He must have timed that pretty well, actually, Wokes. Because it was aerial, and I thought it was going to go to mid-on, but it went inside him. It's gone all the way down to the boundary. An extraordinarily well timed 4 runs.
It wasn't far away from him.
It wasn't far away from him. I thought he was going to drop well short, but he just timed it absolutely out of the screws.
Sort of a mini helicopter of sorts, a little sort of flourish at the end.
Yeah, I think he meant to go. I'm not sure he meant to go that straight and that hard, but it's just pinged out in the middle of the bat and gone past mid-on, down to the boundary. It's 4 runs though. England will take them any which way they come.
Would have been a absolutely spectacular catch if he got anything on that.
He didn't even, I don't think he even got a fingertip to it. So this one he just drops into the offside to cover. Says no.
14 to win now. Edging closer here, England.
Yeah, 14 to win. It's been a hard-fought win, and it's been a good match. It does bode well for the rest of the series. A pretty cold Sri Lanka side, who pretty dodgy top order. Mind you, I guess the next pitch might be different.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm interested to see how they fare.
Well, actually, Lords is pretty poor a lot of the time. I mean, it's pretty slow, and it gets better to bat on as the game goes on in general. The Oval's the best pitch out of a lot that they're going to play on. That was clipped up to mid-on, and there's no run.
Yeah, I guess it depends how much water the pitchers take over the next few days as well. They'll obviously want it quite dry.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with Lords, isn't it? I mean, it's a great drainage system now, but it means it kind of sucks all the moisture out of the wicket, and it becomes quite dead.
Yeah. They might be hoping for it to turn a bit as well. Jayasuriya obviously got a couple to go in the first innings in particular.
It used to be the case at the Oval as well, that things would turn. We shall see, we shall see. Fernando is in, bowls, full. Wokes plays it back to the bowler once more, and there is no run. Ended that over, 14 required.
Says the problem, incidentally, is made worse by cheapskate broadcasters choosing lower forward error correction so they can squeeze more channels into fewer transponders. Not that there's a space shortage anymore, anyhow.
It's very true now, isn't it? You know, I mean, when we started doing this, you had to pay per listener essentially if you had an internet radio station, and to be able to get 1,000 listeners, it cost you an absolute fucking fortune. And now, I mean, it is kind of like that. I mean, everyone says you can have as many listeners as you like, but they kind of squeeze in, shaping their bandwidth. I guess it's load balanced, and so one channel taking loads can take it. I mean, Voscast say we can have thousands if we do, but I sometimes wonder when we're really busy whether that's part of the issue, is their server's just not kicking it out enough. Around the wicket comes Jayasuriya to bowl into Root. He plays it out into the covers. Ooh, it's a bit of a misfield by cover, which he's upset about. He kicks the ground and he gets through for a single.
I don't want to jinx it, and I have. Oh, maybe not.
Round the wicket. Oh, attempted cut by Wokes on live TV, which is 2 balls ahead. So we've missed 2 balls. We've skipped 2 balls. Wokes has not scored a run in the time, and we still need 13 to win. Oh, look, that was an arm ball. Straight down the seam. Trying to get some in swing was Jaya Sarir. This one he tosses up. Turns. And just dropped into the offside. Wokes is told to run, and they get through for an easy single. 12 required. England will take, I presume, have we taken the extra half hour? Did this over start before the end of the last?
It would have started before, but there's surely no reason not to just keep
No,
going.
England will claim the extra half hour.
Yeah, it's good to see that one from Josh return. He has turned a few, not as many, I'm sure.
Yeah, not as many as he'd hoped. And yeah, I mean, this is it. I don't think this wicket's been particularly helpful to bowlers. It's just been really bloody slow. That one is a full toss. And Joe Root just sweeps it down to long leg. He'll get himself a single. 11 to win.
Root has gone to that lap sweep fairly
A little bit
consistently.
more now, hasn't he? Yeah, rather than the reverse, which is more sensible, really. That's the end of the over. Root will retain the strike, and England just require 11 runs to win. England clearly have taken the extra half hour.
Good to see.
I'm sure Wokes is saying, you just score singles, Rooty, unless it's a really terrible ball. I'll try and swing a couple of 4s and we'll get out of here.
Pretty much.
That's what I'd be saying.
And with Atkinson and Pot still to come,
Yeah, exactly.
there's no real risk now.
You
This would
wouldn't
be
have
a
thought so.
collapse of
Collapse. Well, you know,
impressiveness.
I have seen England do worse, but in much worse conditions.
I did miss a tweet a while ago from Neymar Butland who said England cruising to victory. Please send this memo to the Football Association.
Yeah. Well, Root's facing up. Fernando is coming into bowl, and it's just knocked into the leg side, probably off side. We should have gone for a run. There was definitely a single there. Woke couldn't be asked.
I think he's trying to tell Root to do it in 2 hits, which is all it would take.
Well, I don't think that should be. I don't think Root should do that. I think Root should just play sensibly, and actually, whoever's at the other end should be the swinger, because at the end of the day, Root can get this in singles, but if someone else at the other end can thrash a couple of 4s, it just makes life a lot easier, doesn't it? But
very true.
Root is the valuable wicket here. He's facing out Sita Fernando. He's got 2 for 24 and 11. He's bowled pretty well. Root faces it short. Ooh, could have attempted to pull that, really.
It leaves it alone in the end.
He does leave it alone, through to the keeper, and there's no run. He's thinking now, maybe I should have uppercut that.
Yeah, still contemplating.
Yes.
Maybe his sort of reverse ramp might have been the one. I wouldn't be surprised to see that as the, 3 to win, 4 to win.
Well, that would be quite interesting. If he gets out to it, though, I feel like an idiot.
Yeah, I think by that stage you'd it's unlikely it'll make a difference.
Stokes is going, come on, get on with it. I want to go home. Asita Fernando in. Root works that into the leg side. Can't beat, I think, Angelo Matthews is the straighter of the 2 short mid wickets.
I'd be interested to hear what the messaging might be after this test from the sort of leadership group. Stokes, McCullum, Pope, I guess, as well, now included in that. Whether there will be any talk on the negatives, or whether they'll just put it all down to the pitch, move on, which is probably what I expect
I
them to do.
expect them to do that, yeah.
Because, I mean, there haven't been a huge amount of negatives. There were a couple
No.
partnerships they could have broken early, and perhaps a few drop
Well,
catches.
exactly. I mean, you have to give credit where credit's due for the opposition as well. I mean, a couple of guys in Sri Lanka bowled really well. There's an appeal for LBW. I thought he
Inside
played
edge.
late and got an inside edge, and if not, then he was outside
It's
the off
well
stump.
outside off anyhow.
Yeah, that's what I think. I don't think Asita's not interested in it. It looked a bit odd. It looked like he chopped his bat down on it. Yeah, and I think he realises that himself.
Yeah, I think he was the only one who actually went up for it in the end. I don't think anyone else was particularly interested. Nipped in a little bit there from
Yeah,
Fernando.
big inside edge.
He's got great seam positioning, Fernando. Just
Yeah.
got it to slight wobble seam, I think that was, just nip back
Yep.
a fraction.
2 balls left in the over. That one is guided by Root into the offside. They will take a single as it goes down towards third man. 10 required to win.
Slow and steady. Slow and steady.
When it gets to 6, you think someone's going to try and...
Yeah, you'd hope so. Fernando's final ball here. Woke's a little bit of a free hit, I guess, in some ways. Can kind of have a bit of a swing.
He can do. Root's at the other end. I don't think you give it away, but I mean, I think you should try and score.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was anything but straight. Let's see what Asita Fernando offers. Last ball of his 12th over. Coming in to bowl to Wokes. It is down leg side.
Good grab there from Mendes. The big appeal.
Big appeal.
Yes, again from Fernando.
I think he missed it completely.
So do I.
Yeah, I think he did. I thought it was going for 4 byes.
Dan Andrade
No one else
was amused more than anything else.
Or if anything, it came off his hip. Well, they've only got one review left. They are going to review it. I guess it's time wasting. Dinesh Chandimal. Kusal Mendes doesn't look particularly amused by it all.
Oh. Yeah, I think it did deflect a bit, but I think it came off his hip.
Yeah, I thought it came off his hip. I think he missed out. I think he should have got something on it. But no one's down the leg side. I'm supposed to go pretty quick. If you missed it, there's no run. Unless maybe Asita Fernando saw something no one else saw. And he's dead right. Angles it down. Oh, it could be glove, you know.
Oh, there's a little
Well, it looks like there's a deflection, but it could be how it goes.
Yeah, trick of the light.
Trick of the light underneath. We're going to have a look on older edge.
Actually. Really well taken.
No, it's not. It's well under his hands.
Maybe
So-
past his hip.
No, it's well away from that. I think it was just a trick of the light. It goes under the bat and it looks like it's changed direction, but it's clearly nowhere near
Shadow.
It's not out. Sri Lanka now have no reviews left.
Watch there be a few huge, horrific calls from the umpire now.
Yes.
Sri Lanka wishing they didn't waste it.
Wow. They've got to try. Yeah, might as well try. There's only 10 required to win and they've got 5 in the hutch.
I mean, that's what the Aussies would have been thinking in 2019.
Well, exactly. And I swear if they'd reviewed that one against Stokes, he'd have been out.
Absolutely.
I still don't quite know how the umpire didn't give that. But hey, that's
Well,
cricket.
it was Joel Wilson.
Yeah, true. And I guess it was swept hard and then he moved his leg outside leg stump when he did. Defended by Ruti and there's no run.
There has been a goal in the Arsenal-Aston Villa match. If anyone is hoping to not find out the score, mute us for 10 seconds.
Close your ears for 10 seconds. That's defending the offside. There's no run.
Leandro Trossard has opened the scoring. 1-0 Arsenal, 67th minute.
Hey!
Yes.
Excellent.
Well, I don't have any Villa players, so it doesn't really bother me. I've got Arsenal defenders.
I've got Ezri Konsa on my bench, but I think he will likely be coming on because I have Kwanzaa from Liverpool starting, but I think he might not play.
Turned into the leg side by Root. I think it's about 2, but it's not there. Just gets a single.
Erling Haaland captaincy looks like a very good option.
Fucking boring. Erling Haaland captaincy. I never buy him at 15 million. I just think it's too much, man.
Yeah, I just think he's worth 7.5 million players though.
Hey! Stop it, the pair of you.
Shut up.
We're not talking about fucking soccer.
No, I know we're not talking about soccer.
We're
Don't
talking
worry.
fancy league here. Important shit. Jarvis around the wicket, tossed up and driven by Wokes out towards long off. It'll be a single. Should have launched that over bowler's head for 6.
Pirate Badger says, "Fuck, I'm in Anorak territory. I remember watching the live stream on Astra 2E with satellite sports. Sky Sports Cricket is on, being launched from Baikonur on the Proton M rocket. It was entertaining."
Root goes back, works into the leg side. He wants 2. He wants 2, and he's going to get 2. Wokes, you're going to have to run a little bit quicker than that. No, you don't actually. And they do get back for 2. Oh,
buzzers, no.
6 required to win. 1 hit from victory.
Come on, Joseph, bring out the reverse scoop, the reverse ramp.
Says hat trick needed.
Yeah, hat trick. Yeah, a hat trick would be interesting.
I think it might have to be a double hat trick. Even then.
Rooty facing up on 57. Jarvis bowls. Root just taps it into the leg side. That'll end that over. England require 6.
Yeah. Des Reynolds says, who replaces Wood next test, please?
It's got to be Ollie Stone.
It's got to be Ollie Stone. He's the only one left, and he's standing.
Mike says, if I was an umpire and there's no reviews left, I'd feel like a god. I'd be a prick just because it's funny.
Maybe that explains Joel Wilson in 2019.
Oh dear. Yeah, maybe that's exactly what happened.
Well, Wokes is going to face up. I suppose Sri Lanka could try and waste 20 minutes, but I don't even think that would work. I think Wokes is
Nathan Lyon was interesting talking about that game. He said, obviously we hated losing, but he said it was just great to be involved in one of the greatest games of cricket ever played.
I think he's probably only realised that 4 years later,
Yeah,
5
sure.
years later.
Well, probably. I mean, you'd take a long time to get over the hurt, wouldn't
Yes, definitely.
well, especially the fuck up on the run out that he made. I mean,
Yeah.
that was another one. I mean,
That's
forget
huge.
the LBW.
Yeah.
The other interesting thing he said, though, was that getting injured at Lord's last year has probably extended his test career by a long time, because he said sitting back at home watching the cricket on TV, he realised how much desperately he wanted to be a part of it again.
Yeah. Well, that's defended and out towards that point. They'll get a single. Yeah, I watched the second part. What's that documentary on the back room of the Australian?
Oh, the test.
The
Oh,
test.
the test, yeah.
Yeah, I watched the one on the Ashes in England with it. They kept cutting to him with his leg up, watching it in England.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ollie Stone before, he turned up in the first class game, County Championship. Unfortunately, it was with the ball, though. One
Oh.
for 109.
Yeah, you did tell me that earlier.
Not good.
No. Well, now there's an appeal for LBW and it's going down. Surely going down. It's not been given. They haven't got any reviews, so let's just crack on.
Sam Cook, on the other hand, scored 27 off 28, not out with the ball.
He's the other
Essex.
guy. He's the other guy I was thinking of that they could possibly go to, but they like pace, don't they? And they're just trying paceman at the moment.
The one, I think Sam Cook's a fantastic bowler. The one issue with him, or the two issues, I think firstly, pace, as you mentioned there. He's sort of 80 topped out, maybe.
Exactly. He's
70s
Ollie
maybe.
Robinson pace, isn't he? Which
Exactly.
is great in England, but it's no good abroad.
The other issue as well, he is also a number 11, and with Sherb Bashir in the side, and without sort of Wokes at number 8, your batting lineup looks a lot weaker with him in there.
And England don't like that. Ollie Stone can bat a little bit as well.
Yes, yeah, he's all right.
Oh, that's down the track. Trying to
He'll-
work it into the leg side was Ruti. Got a big leading edge, back past the stumps at the bowler's end. No run.
He'll sit in at number 10, I'd have thought. But he is an okay bat. I think he's made a first class ton, I want to say. I'll have a look in a second.
I know he's made a first class 50.
Other options, I guess you have maybe some of the Surrey guys. Sam Curran would have been interesting to see, perhaps.
Well, he offers you more with the batting again, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he's left armour.
Something different, maybe. Who else has everyone else got? Could go for some of the old boys, Chris Rushworth and Oliver Hannon Dalby at Warwickshire. But yet again, they're 70 mile an hour.
Yeah, you don't need. You need more than that. That's clipped into the leg side out to mid wicket, and there's no run. You've got to be bowling at least mid 80s.
The other two options, Somerset, Craig Overton, who has England experience.
Yeah, he does have England experience.
And has an okay record in Australia, I believe. Nothing spectacular.
Yeah, he
but
bowls quite a heavy ball, doesn't he? He's not as quick as they like to think he's quick. His brother Jamie's quicker, but he's injured,
yes.
isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's not able to bowl at the moment. Otherwise, Keith Aldridge.
Hey, he's gone for the reverse scoop to win the game, has Ruti, but he's got it nowhere. It's ballooned off him. It's ballooned off him. He's lucky he didn't spoon it to someone to get caught.
That was funny.
Shame to see
There
in the
is no
end.
run.
Yeah, Casey Aldridge is perhaps another option. 23-year-old at Somerset. Was picked in the line squad. He took on Sri Lanka a couple of weeks ago. Bowled all right, I think. I think a lot of hype around him. So he's maybe one for the future. Not sure how quick he is, but I mean, if they're picking him for the Lions, they obviously think he's got something.
Yeah, I think it's not a bad policy of England to try and get English bowlers to bowl quicker.
No, definitely not.
I'm assuming that
clipped
everybody's
nicely.
ruled a line through Ollie Robinson.
Currently, yeah. although with what's going on, possibly not. That's worked down to long leg and there's no run. I think he's an idiot, quite frankly, and I stood up for him for quite a while. I mean, you're given that opportunity, and then he still does the stupid shit that he does.
Yeah.
Doesn't knuckle down, doesn't get fit. You know, you either want it or you don't.
Test match in India was pathetic, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's just like, well, if you can't be bothered, then fuck off, really.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's disappointing because he clearly has a lot of talent.
He's extremely talented.
I mean, he's got great height, good delivery, nips it both ways. Just needs to concentrate on getting stronger, fitter, and being able to bowl a little bit quicker.
Pirate Badgel says, upgrade from the wood age to the stone age then. Is anyone called bronze in the pipeline?
Defended by Root, back down the track, Jarsarir into his 26th over. You got to say, he's bowled pretty well. He's gone at nearly 4 and over, actually, it turns out. He's gone for 96. He's got a couple of wickets.
I think that was almost early on with Dan Lawrence and
that,
and then
down the track comes Root, launches it over mid-on. That's the game. It is. You finally got hold of one, hit another 4. England win by 5 wickets. They finally get there. It's been quite torturous, really, in the age of Bazball, but I guess they didn't want to fuck it up. Stuck their heads down. Don't think the wicket's been particularly helpful. It's very, very slow, not particularly bouncy. It's not coming onto the bat. Sri Lanka set very defensive fields and bowled to them pretty well, to be fair. So it was never easy to, try and score. I guess it was at the beginning when you got wickets in the hutch and you're going off at a Bazball pace.
Harder ball as well.
Yeah, harder ball, and you can afford to lose a couple of wickets. But then I think with the batting they've got, I think you don't really want to take it too far beyond Wokes with too far to go.
No, absolutely not.
So they knuckled down when they were about 70 odd for 3, and saw themselves through. They've taken the whole day to do it. It's fair enough. There's still a day left, so the test match is still finished in 4 days. Well done, England. Well done, Sri Lanka. I think I have to say it was a good test. And they've done well.
It was
best of the summer, probably.
Yeah, most competitive of the summer.
It's nice to see some competition. I'm hoping it gets even more competitive next time.
Well, you think
and we'll be back with you on Thursday, so it's not long to wait.
You think Sri Lanka will just get stronger as well the more they play in England. They've got a solid batting line-up. Their bowlers stood up well, I thought. Jayasuriya sort of obviously bowled basically every single over he could in this innings. Rathanayake looked really, really good, I thought. Misley just offered nothing. Fairly accurate.
But again, I think because England got themselves into a little bit of a rut as well, didn't they? They didn't want to take any chances, and the obvious angles were blocked off by the fielders, and they kind of got in their heads a little bit, actually. I do think if Stokes had been in the side, they'd have probably played it differently.
I think partly because it was captaincy, but also partly because he offers so much more with batting.
Well, exactly. Wokes would have been at 8 and Jamie Smith would have been at 7, and Brook would have been at 6. So it would have been different. But hey, England got through, and we say well done. Any last tweets, Messi? And then I suppose we ought to get on.
How's the GPL looking, says Steve Aldersby.
Well, we didn't open it because we thought it was going to be over a lot quicker. We could have opened it, to be fair.
And Ben McCormick says, cheers for the commentary, fellas. Kept a fairly dull session entertaining. Thank you. And Pokey just says, thank fuck for that.
Yeah, I know. Could have been done with it being done a couple of hours ago, but hey, England lost a couple of crazy wickets and decided to bed in for the afternoon.
Justin Canning says, the Folkes versus Smith conversation seems like a very long time ago now. It does, rather.
Yeah. You have to say he hasn't done much wrong with the gloves. It will be interesting when he goes someone like Pakistan or whatever. We'll see how he is then against the turning ball.
I mean, Ollie Pope kept there last time, didn't he, for the first 2 test matches? Folks went down, they all got ill, didn't they, in that the day before?
Right,
That's true, they did, yeah.
And so Pope took the gloves for the first test, retained them for the second, and then folks came in for the third. And there didn't seem to be any huge issues. I think because the pitches are just so flat, it's not like it's offering.
It's not like massive. India where it was really inconsistent.
Spit and shoot and might go on sometimes as well.
It did turn, but it was always very slow turn and quite consistent. Well, we just seen that test in Rawalpindi. What's 450 versus 580? I mean, that is quite dull. So maybe if they don't put it on the TV and we don't get to do it, maybe we'll have dodged a bullet.
It'll be somewhere on a stream that we can commentate from,
Yeah,
I'm sure, Bear.
I know. We'll find it.
Yeah, so just a reminder, if you've enjoyed our coverage, that we do need all the support we can get, and please consider going to patreon.com/Gorilla Cricket and looking to support us on a regular basis, because we need it just to keep going.
We do indeed. We are going to be moving from these premises, which are pretty cheap, but I need to get rid of it. And so we're going to have to find a commercial premises, which is a bit more expensive, let's put it that way. And so it would be really handy if you could patron us. We need a steady income so we can plan our bills and actually sign a contract on a space. Otherwise we're a bit screwed. So yeah, please do patron us at patreon.com/Gorilla Cricket. That's it. We're out. We'll see you on Thursday. We'll be on air.
Excellent.
We'll be on air at 10 to 11 on Thursday morning. Until then, good evening to you all. Goodbye.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. We would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din,